Yeah, this blew my mind when I found it. That's crazy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a video review on a Microsoft Store app that surprisingly surpassed a plugin that I was gonna invest into, and I'm glad I didn't buy that plugin. For those of you that know, this plugin is called a Studio. It goes around 500 roughly. Yeah, it's around the price it goes for. And I was gonna buy it until I found this. Now, what I found is amazing and also very terrifying at the same time. I'll get into the reasons why it's terrifying later. But for the most part, this is the application. Looks very simple, but you can make it as complicated using FL Studio. Because FL Studio already has enough power alone. Why do you need like a plugin that allows you to manipulate the notes and stuff? Ah, I could see why, but also it's just this isn't a cheaper alternative. It runs around like $2, $3, but I got it on sale for $1, and I think it's $2 to be honest. I can't really tell you the price because I already purchased it, sadly. Um, Literally, what you do, you can grab any file. I'm gonna put it off to my other screen. Actually, I should have adjusted the camera so you can see both screens. Well, let me actually drag this over. You can select the path, but usually what I do is I just grab the file from here in FL, drag it into the path field, and it just directs it straight to the project. And from there, it gives it the sample from the project, directly from the project. And you can also add reference samples. So let's say if you wanted your voice to sound a little bit more feminine, you could add a female sample to the reference sample. And that reference sample is basically what it's trying to make your voice sound like. So that being explained, actually let me show you again. You could toggle this reference field, and then from there, you just drag your MP3 or waveforms into here, or you can direct it to a path. And then once you do that, you can actually click this play button. It'll pull up your default media player and it'll play it through there. So you can preview it before you actually click generate. So after you drag the samples in, they're going to sound very robotic because there's no pitch correcting. There's no pitch. It's just straight vocals. So let me show you the samples that I have stored on my computer for a second. So female vocal, EME female vocal 2. These were me, but converted. So I guess gender bent for those of you that understand in that terms. I'll play this one.
So, who are we?
Now that sounds nothing like me, but this is the original.
So, who are we?
That's my voice, and yeah, this blew my mind when I found it. That's crazy. Being said, if you wanted something with the actual notes and composure of it being sung, you would have to manually go in and make each track unique, which I know for a lot of people it's probably inconvenient having more files inside your project, but Ace probably runs a lot of CPU as well. So, regardless, you could pitch correct, and it's a lot cheaper too. $1, $2, maybe even under $4. You can't beat that. Really can't beat that. You drag it in, you correct the tracks, and then pitch correct them as needed, or you don't have to if the part's just talking. I think that's it.
So if we're really just electromagnetic energy, that must mean who are we?
Everything is temporary, everything is borrowed. The devil, the adversary, no promise of tomorrow. Everything is temporary, everything is borrowed. The devil, the adversary, no promise of tomorrow.
So that's kind of a demonstration of what it could do, along with FL Studio. Now, I'm not going to get into why it's terrifying, or to the T, but all I will say is that there is potential for abuse, and I'm scared of that. Probably for another educational video on people or cybersecurity breaches, or at least attempts, something like that. They already most likely have a video on that. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, there's an idea for you to look into. You don't need to learn about it. Don't learn about it. I don't care, but paranoia. Okay, continuing on. Let me just play the beginning. I started off with just my vocals. I kind of duetted with my vocals over and over again. If I wanted it to sound different, I would pitch correct it, but that wouldn't give it the same vibe. This actually changes it. And with the reference sample, you can literally grab another sample. Like, let's say I have one to the left right here, and I want it to sound more gospel, then I could just drag in that sample and drag it into the reference field, then pretty much paste the sample that you are talking in, and then allow your voice to actually sound different. And when you do that, you can pretty much manipulate this to actually create the sounds you hear in your head. Sometimes just having two dudes singing with each other isn't the vibe you're going for. Maybe. Doesn't hurt in this song. I actually kept it in some parts. Like having me like singing with myself. That's pretty much all I do. Sit here in front of FL Studio. But having a male and female harmonizing too allows you to remember that there's other things out there too. Like other people. Just also reminds you the coexistence we have as individuals. That being said, we are all in unison. We're all connected. And yeah, that's way off topic. Okay, voice cloning is a app on the Microsoft Store, and basically it's worth it. That's all I'll say. Beats A Studio, hands down. I don't care if they get an update and they make the features so much better. The only thing that can make A Studio better is they just top FL as a DAW entirely. But I don't know. They're too new. A lot of people aren't really going to get into it unless they have a DAW, and it's too expensive. So if that's the case, I just don't know if it's going to actually stand that strong. That's crazy. You guys have a good day. Thanks for watching. Peace and bye.